everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you have not yet been to my channel, I am Sierra and I was accepted into the Disney College program for fall 2018. I don't know if I've ever said this, but I only applied one time before I got into the Disney College program, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I feel like when I say I got into the program on my first try, it sounds like very because I know that everyone's time is different, and I know that people apply multiple times before they get in, and I was expecting that for myself. When I applied, I was set to get in, as everyone does. You want to get in when you apply, and this was just my time, I guess, and I wanted to kind of talk about my application process and how it was for me, and maybe give some tips and tricks, I guess, for getting in on your first try. I don't want to promise that because everyone's application process is different. But applying for the Disney College program is a 3-step system. The first is the application, the second is the WBI, the web-based interview, and then the third is the phone interview. You can be NLIC'd, which is no longer in consideration with each step. So your application can be reviewed and you can be NLIC'd after that. So just because you get and you send in an application doesn't mean that you will move on to the next step. I guess first thing I'll talk about is the application. I personally found the application to be the most nerve-wracking and difficult part of the application process, the applying process. It's a simple application to fill out. It's not like it's a stressful one. There's no rhyme or reason as to why some applications get pushed through and some don't, but I personally think, my personal guess is that the most important parts of the application are your previous work experience and then how you rank your roles. So for work experience, it's really important to put all work experience, and if you haven't worked before, then they also do accept volunteer experience, which I did not know, or else I would have put volunteer experience in there. I feel like I had enough work experience with just my 3 previous jobs to make enough of a, to make enough of an impression that I could move forward in the process, or at least be noticed, you know? Anything that just really shows off skills that you have, such as communicating within a workplace, being able to type on a computer, knowing how to work a register, knowing how to count stock, or this was all just mine because I've only ever worked in retail. So I'm just trying to come up with skills. It's really important to put literally anything you have learned in your life from working or volunteering. There are 5 available spots on the application to where you could put any previous work or volunteer experience, and I would really just focus on any skills that you have learned, hype yourself up, make yourself seem as awesome as you are. After I applied, and I was looking at the pages, because I just discovered the pages, a lot of people were talking about keywords that they use on their application. There's a rumor that it's a system, and then if there's certain words in your application, you'll be pushed through to the next round automatically through this system. And people use keywords as a way to be pushed through. I didn't use any of these so-called keywords. I just want to put out, if you heard anything about keywords and you feel like you need to put so many of them in your application, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. It sounds a little gimmicky to me, and I feel like it's one of the things that when you're applying, you shouldn't try to trick yourself into the program. You should really just be fully you in the application and just really hype yourself up as you would on any application, not focus on little details such as keywords. I didn't use them and I was still able to get in, so are they really that important? Next I want to talk about for the application is ranking your jobs. On the application, there is an entire section for ranking jobs on what you would like to do. It's just a gigantic list of all the available jobs during the DCP, and you have the option to put no interest, low interest, moderate interest, and high interest. It is really important to do research on the Disney College Program website and look up the jobs and see what they're about, see what you would do, watch videos on them. Don't be afraid to be honest. A lot of people will take jobs like custodial or housekeeping because they feel like they'll take any chance to be on the program, and then they get there and then they complain that they got custodial or housekeeping, and it's like, you put interest in it. The truth is, if you put no interest in a job, you will not be considered at all for that job, so you don't need to worry about it. If you put low interest, you will be considered for the job, and even though you do have low interest, you still have the possibility of getting that job. So if you truly do not want a job like custodial or merchandise or watercraft, then put no interest, because then you'll be considered for the jobs that you actually really, really want to do. Those are like the top 4 roles. I think they are custodial, housekeeping, QS, quick service, food and beverage, and those are the jobs that will have the most availability, and it's okay to put no interest in them. Moving on, the next part of the application process is the WBI, the web-based interview. So if you get to the web-based interview, congratulations, you did it, you're doing good, you're moving on. For some reason, the web-based interview is incredibly stressful. The web-based interview is just a personality test, basically. Like with the job selection, it's really important, or even more important in the web-based interview, to be extremely honest with yourself. Don't try to sound like something that Disney would want. Don't try to be too indecisive. It's really important to pick strongly when you're doing this, so you strongly agree or you strongly disagree. So saying one is, I think it's important to communicate with my coworkers. You have either strongly disagree, it's like any personality test. You have strongly disagree, disagree, neither, agree, strongly agree. And it's really important in the WBI to choose strongly agree or strongly disagree. Now, there are cases where you can choose neither if you truly believe that it's neither, but I would keep your neithers like only do 3. Only do 3. I did probably 2. With some of them you may be like, well, I only agree, but if you agree, then you should be able to strongly agree. You know what I mean? If you disagree a little, then you strongly disagree. Really only choose neither when you really just can't make up your mind. You do the WBI, you're going through it, it's really long, it's really stressful, you're like, am I even doing this right? I'm freaking out. And then out of nowhere, the screen will pop up. And then the screen will say, congratulations, or it will say, sorry. Literally, it's like a 30-minute personality test, and in those 30 minutes, you can find out whether you're moving on to the next round, which is the phone interview, or you have been no longer in consideration. You've moved on from the WBI. Congratulations, yes, and now you have all this time to plan for your phone interview. I waited probably a week and a half for my phone interview. 3 days before my phone interview, I started doing like an excessive amount of research. I would watch videos of people's phone interviews. I would go on the Facebook pages and look at people's responses to their phone interviews, and it was just, I like overwhelmed myself, I feel like. The day before my phone interview, I just put it all away. I was like, I'm not touching anything Disney College Program. I'm not doing anything Disney College Program. I'm literally just gonna chill out. Your phone interview can be scheduled from like 7 a.m. to like 11 p.m. They tell you that they'll call you 15 minutes. They can call you 15 minutes before your slotted time or 15 minutes to 15 minutes after your slotted time. I really recommend just like sitting there with your phone. Here's my setup. For my phone interview, I had my phone here and I had the sound on, and I made sure that I was fully charged. I had it plugged into the wall so it was fully charged. Then I had my computer screen with my application on it. I had a little cheat sheet in front of me. Everyone has a cheat sheet. You kind of just put anything that you want. Really, I put my high-ranking roles and why I wanted them. Questions that I had to ask my interviewer and then on my side I had my laptop and I was playing all this Disney music to just calm myself down. Tips for the phone interview is to truly just be yourself. I know it sounds so cheesy, but just like be yourself. With every question they ask, just be a genuine human and be yourself. Smile throughout the whole thing. Smiling makes you so excited for it. It makes you, I don't know, smiling just really gets you into it. I also recommend, this is me, I was not dressed to like the nines. I was wearing sweatpants, a Tinkerbell shirt. Wear your ears, because your ears will really make you picture yourself there. And then I had a full face of makeup on because I feel better when I'm pretty. Talk right away. Don't try to speed through your interview. Take your time answering the questions. Really think about what they're asking and be able to articulate an answer. I think if you just like breathe, you let yourself calm down for a second and you just answer the question. Give yourself time to answer it. My interview took probably about, I would say it was like 35 minutes. It was a pretty long interview. And don't be afraid to ask questions in the end. A lot of typical questions are, how did you start your Disney career, or how did you get your start with Disney? So one of my questions was, can you please tell me more about the classes? And then my second question was just kind of like a fun question, and it was, what's your favorite part about working for Disney? It's a little different than how did you get your start with the Disney company, but it's still about Disney. And she seemed very responsive to it. She liked it. So then I waited a week. It was the longest week of my life. I checked my email 50 times a day, every day for the whole week. I don't know what made me stand out in particular to get in on my first try. I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I did anything special. I just know that I was completely honest throughout the whole thing. I believed in myself that I could do it. I strongly believed in myself that I could do this. And I just really wanted it. And there's nothing wrong with really, really wanting something and really going for it and being proud of yourself when you do get it. I might title this Getting Onto Disney in Your First Try, but really this is just kind of getting in and doing your best. If you get through any of the steps, that is a huge deal, and you should be very proud of yourself. I 100% mean it. You should be totally proud of yourself for getting through to the next part. I hope this video has helped you somehow. Good luck to those applying next time. Congratulations to those who have gotten in. I can't wait to meet you guys. If you have any questions, please ask down below. Please, I'm willing to help with anything. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.